That's quite the introduction. My name is Joe Connell, and I'm the founder and CEO of a company called NeuEsse. And what we do at NeuEsse is we make a human skin substitute from soybeans. What we do is strip protein out of a soybean and electrospin sheets of skin that goes into the wound and becomes a part of your body for regenerative medicine. It's now water soluble. We can spray skin onto patients at bedside, which is a godsend for burn victims. We finally got it into the Department of Defense for our burn warriors. And Chris, I'm gonna steal, I didn't know I dovetailed so nicely to what you were saying, but we have the data. This skin has proven to heal a full thickness wound with intact hair follicles and sweat glands, and it's been published, but minimal to no scarring, because as opposed to every other bandage in the world, they do two things. They keep moisture in and bacteria out. Ours goes into the wound, absorbs all the exudate, gives your body a scaffold, and it rebuilds itself. This is why it's regenerating, and the mark of wound healing is closure. And if it's a large chronic wound, it'll struggle and struggle, and the patient will end up with a thick, slick scar. And when we use a regenerative plant-based skin, you come up with no scar and intact hair follicles and sweat glands. And the ability to spray this really makes a difference. We talked about the innovation and now the data, Chris. I stole that from you. Let me tell you about the passion. Let me tell you about why we do what we do. I use one case study of a 10-year-old male. 30% of his body was burned and his right leg was burned to the bone. This patient was never supposed to walk again. In those days, you rebuilt a burn by harvesting skin somewhere else, skin grafting. So to build this leg, they took 360 deep circles of skin from the top of his thigh and rebuilt that leg. That called for 360 new wounds, 360 new scars, pain and suffering, and if omega skin were available then, this patient may not have been treated that way. And my mission is to make sure as many people as possible do not get treated this way. This patient was me. And forgive the old picture, this is the first time I jumped 21 feet at Connellsville High School, and I had hair. But this is why we do it, and this is why it's in the hands of the Department of Defense right now. It's omega skin. You've never heard of it. I hope you will soon, and a lot. I'm looking for a seed round of $1 million, and I've listened very intently here. If you don't want $20 million, this guy must not have anything. We're looking for a seed round to get us through to when the Department of Defense pays for everything, non-dilutive, and it will reward everyone. And we don't want a lot of cash around. We just need to get to that bridge. And what we'll do with that is get FDA approval, scale up our manufacturing. Right now, we are making skin tabletop at Temple University with students. I'm probably so nervous that this will stick to my fingers, but this is a sheet of skin that goes in to a wound and heals regeneratively. We're going to redesign our blow spinner. We can electrospin sheets of skin onto the patient. If you can imagine a nursing home patient being flipped over and covering their bed sores and not having to transport to emergency room and the economics of that. And I will tell you, a burn victim doesn't want anything touching that raw nerve endings, not salve, not nurses, not gauze, and we can spray it on there. So we're going to redesign this blow spinner so that a paramedic in the field of the Army can't destroy it. Right now it's too frail. We have a design engineering group to do that. And we're going to do first-in-man trials with this. Now the replacement skin market is very crowded, and they come in three varieties: unavailable, unaffordable, and unacceptable. I took a company public and my product was unavailable and unaffordable. So unavailable is called for refrigeration. My product would take a biopsy, put it on a collagen wafer and feed it, and we would give you back your own skin. But it would be a scar without hair follicles and sweat glands. And so they're just not available with refrigeration. We have a protein bandage that we can send to the military, and it doesn't expire, disintegrate, or care if it's 115 degrees in Afghanistan. It's available for the patients and for the soldiers. Now, unaffordable, in 2014, the Medicare guidelines bifurcated high-cost and low-cost skin substitutes. The top three were so expensive that a burn victim would cost $400,000 to $500,000 to treat, and they pretty much wiped them out of the market. No one can decellularize animal tissue less expensively than I can spin a soybean. So not only does it work better, it's orders of magnitude less expensive. And let's talk about acceptable. Everything in the market is from pigs, cows, and cadavers. I'll show you a slide of my competition. They're from foreskins, neonatal, and placental material, and we believe we're going to open up markets for people who can't take these skin substitutes because of their culture or religions. And because of the low cost, we think we're going to open up and make this acceptable to third world countries that just don't have adequate care right now. So we're going to give back. We're tackling a large lucrative market, $38 million in chronic wounds, $20 million in bed sores alone. And you see the markets here, but we haven't even touched on the opportunity for dermatology and aesthetic beauty, because this is going to be appropriate for post-laser ablation and skin rejuvenation. It's going to be good for Mohs surgery, biopsies, breast reduction and augmentation, because of the after appearance of limited to no scars. So we're tackling a large market. We have a team, a lean team. My partner Bruce is in Philadelphia. I'm in Pittsburgh. The inventor of the skin is Peter Lelkish. He's the department chairman at Temple University. So what we have is something that disrupts a crowded market and sets itself apart. We have better healing with better appearance at a better cost and more acceptable. So high social impact, readily off the shelf without preparation or handling issues. Chris said, have data. So after we proved in a porcine model that we could heal a full thickness wound with minimal to no scarring, we went head to head against Smith & Nephew's product NeuEsse. Right here you'll see that on day 3, we had the epithelium lined up and organized in slide A, and on D, the NeuEsse product was not. On day 7, you see picture B, we had hair follicles and sweat glands. Picture E, NeuEsse did not. On day 7, we created a wound bed full of newly created collagen. So it works remarkably well. Here's my competition. Neonatal foreskin, amniotic tissue, placenta, foreskin, sterilized sheep intestines. So we work better, more acceptable, more affordable. What we're going to do is file a 510K device designation. We're putting that package together right now. Once we get that available, we can start generating revenue in dermatology and aesthetic beauty while putting skin into the hands of clinicians at USC for diabetic foot ulcer. The University of Pittsburgh is going to use autologous fat to remodel scarring. And Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh is looking at delivery of stem cells and growth factors right now. We're going to do the PMA for the full indications. We will be first in man in 3 months after we get funding. And then we're going to revitalize the sprayability of this, because the device needs a little bit of work. But that should be happening in 6 months. We can electrospin right now. We're working tabletop with a student in Temple University. We're talking to potential partners. One I had dinner with the other night. He doesn't know he's going to be my partner, but he is when we talk here in about an hour. So we are looking at Jefferson Medical. They have a 9-nozzle vertical spinner. That doesn't mean anything to anyone that doesn't know electrospinning, but this can be done modular. We intend to open up a subsidiary in Galway, Ireland. We can spin and distribute through the European Union, and that's the last English-speaking country in the EU now that Brexit has happened. So we can license, we can distribute, and we can manufacture by countries. The whole project is going to be $5.5 million. Like I say, I'm trying to raise a seed round of $1 million now so that we can get to the Department of Defense to finish our programs. And it's about a 2-year program, 2 to 3, and then an exit. In essence, this is a water-soluble skin made from soybean protein. And we have a strong team to bring it to market. I've been at this for 7 years. Before that, I took a company public that made skin from autologous sources. Our IP is worldwide. Now that it's water soluble, we picked up 2 delivery devices, the portable electrospinner to spray the skin. We also have a worldwide patent on a robotic 3D printer for non-flat skin. Someday we plan to spin and create noses and ears for our trauma victims and war fighters. The blow spinner will be revitalized. Again, $1 million. We're looking for FDA approval. That should happen in the next 6 months. We go to a commercial launch, a soft launch. We find a strategic partner, and we package, sterilize, and put this onto the market in various forms, including anatomically correct patches for putting on after laser ablation. Right now, when people get their scars removed with laser, their wrinkles removed, they go home with Vaseline or petrolatum or Aquaphor. Right now, we've already done a split face trial where the skin healed faster and the resultant skin was 30% more elastic. That's us, and I appreciate it. I will be having a breakout room. Let me know if you'd like to put some skin in the game, and that was probably the only pun I could think of for today. So thank you so much.